Well, bowling fans are back once again. The lanes at Shorewood High School, Dwight. The Spare Time Top Gun, the 2013 edition. We've got our top 3 boys finalists and top 3 girls finalists. They're going to take to the lanes, and once again, this unique setting here at Shorewood High School.
Yeah, I feel our second year at Shorewood High School. I mean, same setting, but 6 new faces with those long ball returns they have to get used to, Phil.
And, of course, the wood lane, something they don't bowl on very often nowadays. It's always a fun, unique format, that eliminator match, the first match in each of the boys and girls divisions. And we're going to flip-flop things around this season. We're going to have the boys bowl the first match in the eliminator. Let's see how the 3 boys in our final match made their way here to Shorewood High School. Each of the Spare Time Top Gun qualifiers invited 12 bowlers to roll off for the 1 spot from their district to Shorewood High School. In District 1, held at New Berlin Bowl, Billy Hibbert from McGuanago struggled with carry early, while Mitch Zierer from Menomonee Falls used a late 267 game to win the 2-game total pin match, 468 to 401. The District 3A qualifier was held at Castle Lanes in Racine. It was a Kenosha battle in the final, but Ryan Schrader had carry problems all the way through his match, while Aaron Turner from Kenosha Tremper struck early and often to take home victory in his 2-game total pin match, 465 to 395. The District 7 qualifier was held at Pioneer Bowl in Richfield. This match went down to the 10th frame. Blake Schmidt of Fond du Lac only needed a 9 count on his 12th ball to lock up the match, went through the nose and got 7, leaving an opening for Austin Kiozik of Kewaskum. However, Austin went high, and Blake Schmidt advanced with a 435-426 2-game total pin victory. Well, Dwight, you've had a chance to see the bowlers practice a little bit. You saw the highlights from how they qualified. Who's your pick going in to come out of this first eliminator match and maybe win the championship, the whole thing?
Well, in practice, Phil, I really thought Aaron had the most amount of turn on the ball. With his rev rate and his ball speed, he could maybe break down the lane a little quicker and then open it up, where the other boys are a little bit more finesse players. So we'll see how it pans out, but I'm right now going with the power.
We'll see what happens. Of course, you never know. That's why you get them out there throwing the bowling ball. First round semifinal eliminator match for the boys division of the 2013 Spare Time Top Gun coming up after this short break. Make sure you stay tuned.
Hey 900 Global fans, Senior Design Engineer Nick Cyphers here. The new War Eagle features the proven S70 cover stock with a 2.50 RG and an 047 differential. This asymmetric core has an intermediate differential of 019. The War Eagle will provide a slight bit more length than the previously released Black Eagle, and have a more pronounced move to the pocket while still being continuous through the pin deck. The War Eagle was designed specifically to match up with the tough conditions at the USBC Open Championships. Make sure to check out the 900 Global Showcase lanes in Reno this year and pick up your War Eagle today.
Semifinal match for the 2013 Spare Time Top Gun Tournament. Once again, the semifinal, an eliminator match. You're going to see all 3 bowlers bowling 1 game. The lowest score after this game gets dropped out. The other 2 bowlers will advance to the championship match. And Dwight, we've got Blake Schmidt out of Fond du Lac representing District 7.
Yeah, Phil, you're going to end up seeing out of these boys 3 different unique styles. Not one of them throws the ball the same. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see how they play the lanes, and a great start for Blake, 15 years old.
Absolutely great start. Blake got in. He was an alternate for the tournament. A couple of other bowlers from District 7 turned spots down. They had other things going on. He snuck his way in as a number 12 seed, and he went through the field to advance to the finals here today. And here's, I think, the power player we have in the field here today, no doubt about it, with Aaron Turner.
Yeah, Aaron Turner, he's from Sheridan Lanes, Kenosha Tremper. Again, wide open arm swing and the backswing with the shoulder, and a lot of revs at the bottom, and look at how he just snaps those pins off, Phil.
Absolutely. 38-foot pattern we're bowling on here this year. Now, last year, we had a modern lane machine, something you see in the centers nowadays from Kegel Bowling. This year, we couldn't make the arrangements to get a machine in there, so we're using the machine they have in-house, which is about a 30-year-old machine. For recreational bowling, which is most of what they have here at Shorewood High School, works out perfect. The problem with that is that sometimes the back ends really don't get cleaned as much as they do in the centers you bowl in nowadays. And you can see, even with a 38-foot pattern, the bowlers are getting a little skate down the middle of the lane.
Right, you got to remember with Century 100 lane machine, Phil, that did not clean the back portion of the lane. You had to strip the lanes by hand.
So they clean them as often as possible here, and a lot of recreational play. Most of the play here at Shorewood High School is Phi Ed classes, private parties, birthday parties, Special Olympics, and an open frame to start for Mitch.
Yeah, Phil, Mitch is 18 years old. He's from District 1, Menomonee Falls, out of Village Bowl. Has a unique style where he is very shoulder dominant with his game and then very upright at the line. Goes from an open to closed position with his shoulder. So it could create a few inaccuracy issues. Blake obviously missing a little to the right, and a lot of oil on the outsides, Phil. That ball didn't come back at all.
Yeah, and I think the ball return kind of got him a little bit.
Yep.
When you normally can move way to the left side of the lane. And he mentioned before the TV taping the day, his dad took him to the Elks Club up in Fond du Lac, and they still have over the top ball returns there. And so he had a little chance to get used to them, but unless you're bowling on them week after week, you still got to get a little gun shy here and there.
Well, these kids have a lot being thrown at them. Obviously, it's a mini eliminator, which they probably haven't done much of their lives. You have the above ground ball returns and the lawn ball returns, so the swing leg is going to kick that ball return, like you almost saw with Mitch there. So there's a lot for these kids to have to adjust their physical games to, plus the TV lights, Phil.
Pressure's a win in the Top Gun title, pretty prestigious title out there. The only other one I can think of for singles for high school this year is if you win that state tournament up in Waukesha later on this spring.
Yeah, this is where that mental toughness comes into play, especially at such a young age for these young boys. And a great cover there out of Aaron.
How about that? No problem covering that up. Well, Aaron's girlfriend, Mandy, we've seen her a few times on the U-Challenge Series telecast, and she finished second last year in this Top Gun eliminator, losing to Sydney Woda in the championship match. And Mitch, back-to-back opens, and don't want to fall behind quickly. And you'll see the bowler that's behind her in these matches, you'll see their name highlighted in red on the score sheet, and that means right now, if the match ended, Mitch should be eliminated.
Blake has got one of those Marshall Holman type of styles. He's very hunched over. Going to put a lot of strain in the lower back. Obviously, he's young enough now to get away with it, but we'll see what he's like in his 40s. Obviously, Marshall had a lot of injuries from that pose that he had. But he has that low profile type of physical game, Phil, and gets a lot of, we call it flat spot, improved flat spot, a lot of rotation at the bottom because of it.
Little kick on that ball return there for Aaron, and it just kind of forced him a little right.
Yeah, again, but the problem is with Aaron being a higher rev rate, Phil, he's probably going to be a little deeper in the lane, and you run that chance of that, especially on lane 2, of kicking that ball return.
And now he's got one lane hook in, one lane not hook in, and Mitch has really got to find something in a hurry, because now it's going to be, as Bo Burton used to call it on the Pro Bowlers Tour in the 80s and 90s, that's a buzzard for 3 opens in a row.
Yes, we call it in jail early. And you got to make a lot of decisions quick, Phil, to get out of jail early against, especially Aaron, where he's probably got the best look out of the 3 boys.
So, well, you don't have to finish first in this match,
no,
but you
don't.
Can't finish last. And right now he's going to be at least 22 pins behind Blake Schmidt for that second spot. It's going to put him 34 pins down overall, 23 behind Blake Schmidt after 3 frames. I want to thank our friends at High Five Gear for the great jerseys the bowlers had on, and Blake Schmidt making that High Five jersey look good with a double out there, first one of the day.
Aaron is throwing a frantic. Looked to me like it'd be a frantic today in a cyclone. He also said that he might be going to a marble pearl, which goes a little longer for him. He's got 1 300 game, Phil, and then a high series of 791 with his rotation and turn. That boy will have a lot of 300 games in his future. Look at how he just rips that rack.
Yeah, just shreds that rack. Little different look here for a pin cam at Shorewood High School. We can't put it where we normally do between the
no, we cannot.
2 lanes, unless we'd have somebody setting it up after each frame with the balls coming back. See if Mitch can get off the schneid here, and not exactly the easiest spare you'd want to shoot at. A little break for him because he can hook the ball into the 2-7 and cover them both with the ball.
Correct. Blake is throwing a Storm Manic. And again, you can see how nice and low he is. And just like Marshall, a little slower on the ball speed because of that. And tries to hook the lane a little bit more. Again, a lot of the boys are pretty puzzled by this lane condition, Phil. You're not seeing a lot of balls in the pocket at all.
No, and with the speed of this, too, I mean, with the mini eliminator format, we've got to fit it for time. So with 3 bowlers, bowling over fast. Yeah, it's going by fast, as you can tell by our commentary, trying to keep up. So I want to thank our friends at 900 Global for sponsoring this event as well today. The winning bowlers in both the boys and girls divisions will walk away with 2 bowling balls each from 900 Global. So second place today, each gets 1 bowling ball for 900 Global. And we couldn't do this Top Gun tournament without their support. We couldn't do it without High Five Gear support. And Dwight, of course, we couldn't do it without the support of the Spare Time Bowling Show on Sunday mornings on Sports Radio 1250 WSSP that you're part of.
Yeah, thank you, Phil. It's great to be part of the show with Sparky and Van, and of course you're on a lot too, so you're also part of our family, and it's a lot of fun. We appreciate it.
Well, Aaron with a big double there. Let's see what Mitch can do here getting into the commercial break for this match. He's got to make up a lot of ground in a hurry.
There we go.
Finds the pocket. That's the way to get into the commercial break. We're going to take the first break of the day here. Be back with the rest of this boys semifinal from Shorewood High School for the Spare Time Top Gun Finals in just a moment. Make sure you stay tuned. Due to time constraints, we're going to need to move forward into the action here in the boys semifinal for the 2013 Spare Time Top Gun. Blake Schmidt up in his 6th frame gets a big break with a high crossover, trips the 610 out for a strike. Aaron Turner steps up on lane 1 at Shorewood High School, a little high for a 4-pin. While he's waiting to shoot that spare, Mitch Zierer gets up, looking to double, and just a big ringing 10. Trying to get back up in that 2nd place position. Once again, low bowler out of this round is eliminated. Top 2 go to the final match. Aaron Turner picks up that 4-pin without too much of a problem. Mitch Zierer gets that 10-pin ball to hang on. Blake Schmidt taking big advantage in the 7th frame of that crossover from the 6th for a big double. Then Aaron runs into a little bit of problems. Kind of catches the ball return just a hair on lane 2. Goes high for a 4-6-7 split. Mitch Zierer looking to keep hitting the pocket. Does a little bit high and leaves the 4-pin. Aaron Turner does what he's supposed to. Keeps himself in the lead. Gets the 2 pins. And then Mitch with a big mental error in the 7th frame, slides by that 4-pin and really gets himself into that 3rd place position. Pretty much going to have to strike out from here on out in order to have any chance of advancing to that final match. And now we'll rejoin the match in the 8th frame with Blake Schmidt up. It's really tight now between Blake and Aaron.
Yes.
After that 4-pin miss by Mitch, he's down by 41 pins to Aaron, 39 to Blake, and unless he strikes out, it's pretty much done for Mitch Zierer.
The only thing that I see, Phil, is it almost to me looks like the ball just doesn't want to do the same thing twice. Or what we call it when I bowl, I call it the ball wants to wiggle while it's going down the lane. It just doesn't want to get into a path or a track where it does the same thing every time.
Yeah.
Aaron's the only one that has a little bit of that look.
And one thing these 3 bowlers are running into right now is we're in a center that has a lot of recreational play. A lot of bowlers that would just throw the ball right up the middle of the lane, where if they were in their home center, synthetic lanes, there might be a little bit of a track warning around 2nd arrow.
Yes.
So if these bowlers are looking for something around 2nd arrow, there's no built-in extra friction there.
Oh, no, there's not. You at least on here, you have the condition, Phil, and then you got the lane surface or the characteristics of that wood. So you have 2 different properties at work creating the difference in the ball reaction.
And you can see right there, too, looking at Aaron's spare, he thought it was going to get all the way across, no problem, and it just kind of lagged getting across.
Yep.
That could be where that extra friction, or the lack of friction around 2nd arrow, where they're so used to it, is coming into play.
Correct.
And then they get it a little inside, they miss that 2nd arrow where everybody's playing recreationally. That line's burned away, and then it hooks even more. So they can either move way outside, try to play there more direct, or they're going to have to just gun it up the gut, I think. Oh, my.
And this is survival of the fittest, Phil. Right through the heart.
Now, one thing, I mean, one thing coming to mind too. I mean, this is a pretty fast pace for the bowlers.
Yep.
I mean,
not a lot of time to think, Phil.
Yeah, they're used to bowling, 1 frame at a time in Baker format, every 5 bowlers. Or if they're bowling in a singles or doubles league, even they're still bowling with 2 or 3 other bowlers on the pair.
But they're at least getting a little bit of a break between shots. I mean, they sit down to catch their breath, and they're up and going again.
So, let's see if he can at least get 2 out of this. Blake does that, gives himself 154 in the 9th frame. That's going to lock up his spot into the championship match. Aaron Turner's going to lock up as well because Mitch's highest score. Well, actually, let's not say that. Mitch can actually strike out here if Blake Schmidt opens in the 10th frame.
Tie,
yeah, Mitch could do a lot of stuff here and still pass him. So I'm sorry about getting ahead of myself there, everybody. You just watch somebody struggle that long, and you kind of go, oh, they think they're out of it. Well, that definitely locks Aaron up right there.
Right. I was going to say the one that probably got a pretty good lock on it is Aaron. I think this is going to go down to the 10th frame between Blake and Mitch.
Yeah, I mean, if Mitch can strike out, he can shoot 173. That would make Blake Schmidt go spare strike in any way, shape, or form to shoot 174. He's not going to roll that 2-pin out.
Nope, he got it a little wide, caught a touch of that OB oil outside, and it just did not want to come back. None of the boys, except for maybe Aaron, had any comfort at all out here. Now that one in particular, Blake got a little inside, a little bit more inside, got a little bit better look, but then the ball jumped right at the very last second.
Well, this spare here for Mitch put a little pressure on Blake here, count-wise, for sure. If he can spare this up, which he does, he can strike out in the 10th frame and shoot 162. Well, if Blake gets 2 here, he's got 163, so it would be over. So Blake's got to make sure he gets 2 here. He's shooting at the 4-7. And he's made it interesting, Dwight.
Yes, he has.
I wonder if he knew what the count mattered there, and now he's looking at the scoreboard.
Yep.
And they're both looking at the scoreboard going, oh, my.
I think both boys on the bench are happy, Phil, that this game is over.
And Aaron's
still got to get up there, though, in the 10th.
Yeah, Aaron Turner's licking his chaps going,
yes.
Well, I'm going to shoot probably 200, 210 here. I've got a halfway decent look. I've only have one open this whole game when I kind of yanked one pretty bad. And a big double there, second double of the game for him.
Yeah, again, be it the speed, be it the rev rate, maybe he's got just a good motion out of his ball. He's just got a beautiful roll in the ball too, Phil. I mean, he's got that perfect axis tilt that you want to see, that axis point right down at 7 o'clock. So his hand is just in a beautiful position at the bottom of the swing.
Well, Mitch Zierer needs this one to have any chance, and once again, just like last frame, a little quick trying to play it down second arrow, and the friction's just not there.
Yeah, the ball just wiggled, Phil, all the way down the lane. And what I mean by wiggle, like it's going through like a hook skid, hook skid, hook skid. It's like the ball doesn't know what it wants to do, and that you do see a lot on wood, Phil, especially with these reactive resin balls. Believe it or not, the ball choice of wood was urethane, old burgundy hammers, blue hammers, because they didn't overreact like resin does.
Yeah, and you can see right there a little overreaction for Aaron going right through the face for a big 4. So Mitch is going to spare this up. Well, this match is no longer in doubt. We're going to save a little bit of time here. We're going to get to the commercial break, let these bowlers finish up, and we will be back with a championship match between Aaron Turner and Blake Schmidt from the lanes at Shorewood High School for the 2013 Spare Time Top Gun in just a moment. Make sure you stay tuned. I have a lot of viewers that ask me, why do you have so many of your tournaments at Castle Lanes? Well, Castle Lanes is a center that has an exceptional atmosphere. The charm of being in the Northwoods cabin while you bowl, an attentive staff on the lanes and in the lounge, all the big screen TVs and a free Wi-Fi hotspot, and being named in Bowler's Journal as one of the 95 places to bowl before you die, you have to bowl at Castle Lanes. That's why we love Castle Lanes, and you will too. This one's for all the marbles, ladies and gentlemen. These bowlers have fought through a qualifying round in their individual high school districts, made it here to Shorewood High School, and now the Top Gun Finals for the boys division for 2013. Aaron Turner and Blake Schmidt, and Dwight, Aaron Turner lane choice. He's starting on lane 1, so he's going to finish after Blake on lane 2. Kind of an interesting choice.
Interesting, especially with the more bowling, Phil. You would think that they're going to break down, and then that ball return comes into play even more, Phil.
So he thinks he's going to get ahead early and strike often, and that looks pretty good out of his hand. And I wish I could shred a rack like that, Dwight.
Man, Phil, so far I think he's got the best look, and you could also see it looked to me like he either pulled the ball or moved in, and that ball fell back, Phil. So, I mean, if I was playing these lanes, I'd be inside. I'd avoid the outsides at all costs. The outsides look so snaky and so squirrely. I'd be moving in and going straight.
Yeah, Blake tried to do it right there, but he's got a lot slower ball speed than Aaron does, and that's going to be tough for him. And no easy spare here with the old 3, 6, 9, 10.
This is one of the toughest ones out there.
Hey, Lisa Vint from the Windy City Bowling News, our official scorekeeper here today for the spare time.
Doing a great job, Lisa.
Appreciate the help. And Lisa and her husband, Bill Vint, of course, run that great publication, the Windy City Bowling News, for all the bowlers in the Chicagoland area and Northern Illinois.
Yeah, Randy Peterson, Phil, feels that this is one of the toughest spares to make on the men's pro tour, and you can see why. Blake just got the 10-pin out. That could have been an easy chop, especially with that oil on the outside. The ball's got to have an entry angle to make that spare, Phil, and if there's oil on the outside, like there is a lot of times on the men's tour, that it can just fall off into the right gutter or take off just the 3-9.
Oh, in the first match, too, he left the baby split early on, and that ball was in the gutter 45 feet down. So
correct.
I think he used a little bit of that experience to help him make that 3-6-9-10 there.
I think Blake's biggest thing that he's got to do here is he's got to move in, or he's going to have to increase his ball speed.
I think he picked up his ball speed a little bit there, Dwight. Must have heard you from the booth. But
not trying to give any advice here.
Yeah, you can see the big Fond du Lac contingent in the crowd behind him there, and the stands, and
tripped off 4-9.
Yeah, Brittney Burgess, next round, you'll see her in the girls' semifinals. She made her way out of District 7 for the girls as well, so a lot of bowlers, a lot of fans from Fond du Lac here today. Aaron looking for that opening double, get himself an early 20-pin lead. He's got that high, tight kind of fallback shot going, Dwight, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. I think he might have found something. Just real interesting. I mean, he's a pretty big kid. And but if you watch his footwork, he takes very short steps. Like, wow, he's really far up on the approach. And then I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and he actually takes 5 steps. So you would think with a fairly tall young man that he would have a very long stride, but he actually takes very short steps. But all power upper body.
Yeah,
the legs are not in much of the equation here at all.
Yeah, really lets his arm swing kind of control the timing of his feet.
Does.
Lengthens it out and just can't quite get the 10. And yeah, he was a hair wide on that one, and we know today that recovery's just not going to quite be there on those 10 pins.
He has a beautiful position, though, Phil, very similar to like a Sean Rash, where he has that left arm way down in front of him when the ball's in the backswing, and that's what allows him to have that nice, long, big, open shoulder, and that's what gets his backswing height, as you can see. So he's really in beautiful position in his 4th step.
Yeah. I want to thank his mom, Dee, his grandma, his dad, Bob, all the help they get him with his bowling. Mom Dee's in the crowd. Dad's out in the crowd, too, today. I'm sure we'll get a shot of them in a little while.
And again, the big thing, Phil, is obviously you can have that ball speed, you can have that rev rate, but you still got to kind of know where it's going. Obviously, Blake doesn't have the ball speed, doesn't have the rev rate, but he has the accuracy. And again, that's the shot-making part of Blake. Almost like you said, Marshall Holman type of thing, but also there's a little Norm Duke in him, too.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he's learning how to play the lane straight, knows when it needs to come into play, and there's that big Fond du Lac contingent there cheering Blake Schmidt on right now. War Eagle, latest release from 900 Global. Want to thank them again for the support. Each one of these bowlers walking away with at least one 900 Global bowling ball after this match. The winner gets to take home 2 of them. And you wonder, how can youth bowlers take home bowling balls for prizes? Well, USBC rules allow them to take up to $500 in merchandise awards per tournament. 2 bowling balls, even though they are a little pricey, don't equal $500, so works out really nice for the bowlers.
It's a great deal.
And a ring, a ding,
Look
ding,
at
10.
that. 6 actually nudged it a little bit, just couldn't get it to go. Good shot, though. Looks like he's found something now. He's in the pocket. Now, again, as you can see with him, though, is he breaks his wrist in his backswing, tries to develop what I call a B game, Phil, and you got the A game on the first ball and the B game on the second ball. Man, I just have learned, throw a plastic ball and stay with the A game. Yeah. You know, you can be able to hit your mark a lot more accurate. When Blake misses spares, he misses by a mile.
Yeah, I mean, that was just, like you said, at least a foot there on that 10-pin. And his body position all out of whack at the foul line.
Right.
And just, you know, it's a bad way to give an extension of that lead out to Aaron Turner right here.
Wow.
And I think the ball return kind of got on my hair.
That, or the ball got to the break point, Phil, and it kept going. I don't know if we'll get a side shot from it or not, but it just didn't turn up to the pocket at all. It didn't roll out. It just skidded.
Yeah. And now with the 2-4-8, is he going to learn?
Shot.
Yeah, I mean, is he going to learn off of what he just saw? Is he going to make a move and try to get the ball farther across the lane? Is he going to play it just right on what he had for a strike line, or is he going to move his target a couple boards to the left?
Yep.
And then is he going to hit that early friction inside? And
another one.
I think he's really surprised on that spare. I think he thought he was all over it.
Both shots, Phil, the ball got to about 55 feet, expecting to turn up to the pocket, and then just went straight. It didn't roll out. It just caught like back-end oil. Came out of nowhere.
Yeah. there's Aaron's mom, Dee, and Grandma cheering on, sister cheering him on, too. And, hey, our buddy Sparky, Captain Intensity when he's at this spare time. He loves watching the kids and watching the technical end of this stuff.
Sparky is 100% Captain Intensity all the time, Phil.
So we'll see what Aaron can do here, getting us into the commercial break for this game. That one needs to hold pocket, and wow, the 3, 4, 6, 10. And you usually see that on a really hooking condition, or in this case, friction up the middle of the lane.
Yeah, when this match started, Phil, I would have probably went to Vegas and put some money on Aaron, but boy, now Blake's got some new hope here. You know, even missing that 10 pin sitting on the bench, this could be back-to-back opens.
And this
easily.
And this can extend Blake's lead sitting on the bench. You can see Blake back there trying to make some strategy adjustments with a couple of his Fond du Lac High School teammates back there. Aaron stays with his strike ball, gets it out to the right.
Wow.
Phenomenal cover, getting us into the commercial break. We'll talk a little bit about this when we get back from commercial, Dwight. We're at Shorewood High School, the Spare Time Top Gun 2013 Boys Championship match. Join us after this commercial break for the rest of this great game. What a great spare conversion to keep Aaron Turner close in this game. The old 3, 4, 6, 7, 10, Dwight, and he covered it up perfectly.
Look at that expression and that body posture. Look at that. Oh, yes, I got it, baby. I act the same way, Phil, but I don't lead that split that much because I just don't have that much turn.
I mean, just a great way to keep himself within 3 pins in the match. He could have easily been 17, 18 pins down if he didn't make that spare. And you can see Blake coming off the bench there going,
yep.
Oh, I got a lot of work to do here.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt about that.
I love it when our youth, Phil, have that same resemblance of what a pro would act like on TV. Then you know they really love the game.
Ooh, lost his feet out from underneath
Yes.
them, and once again, no easy spare with the good old 3, 6, 10.
Yeah, look, he's standing upright and he didn't take a fall. I don't know if he caught a slippery spot, Phil, on the approach or a sticky spot on the approach. You'll probably have to ask him later.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. It's always that shot coming out of a commercial break. I mean, you know, it's not that long of a break, but it's enough where
Yep.
you lose your rhythm a little bit. If you're not mentally focused properly, it can kind of get you a little off. And see if he gets a little better balance here on the spare. Yeah, much better. Hooked it in nicely.
Mm-hmm. Interesting, because when he first threw it down the lane, I'm thinking, oh, that's going to catch the out of bounds, so it'll fall right off into the right gutter. But it actually maybe helped him in this case, because if there was dry there, he would have easily chopped it.
Yeah, sliced that 3-pin right off the 6-10.
He's very puzzled at this point yet, Phil. I mean, he's got his finger on his thumb on his chin, and man, he is really trying to try to figure this pair out, and still not comfortable after a game and a half on it.
So once again, that long slide a la Marshall Holman, and another time, a little bit left to target, and he leaves that 3, 6, 10, and he's just sitting there going, what do I gotta do here?
Yeah, he's given the pose of the thinker here, you know.
Captain Cerebral.
There we go.
Blake. So you got the cerebral game against the power game with Aaron Turner. Not that Aaron's not thinking of shots.
And how many
obviously.
times have we been ourselves in that same situation where we got the hand to the chin, Phil, trying to figure out what we have to do?
Exactly. Keeps himself ahead though. Covers it. Or are we even actually? I think we're even. We're dead even right now. So with
spare shooting by Blake is keeping him in here.
Yep. And you can see all of our bowlers today wearing those great Top Gun jerseys, courtesy of High Five Gear. I've got a couple other shirts myself, Dwight. I know you've been using their power sleeve. I've got one on order. Can't wait to try that. You said it's really helped with your shoulder and bicep problems while you bowl.
Yes, I mean, it's just amazing how comfortable it is, number one. And then number two, when you have it on, you can actually feel the blood circulation improve in your arm. Even though I'm going to have surgery, I'm sure happy that I wear it, and I'm glad I got it.
A little preventive maintenance never hurt anybody, and I think Aaron would like to prevent that 7-pin from standing next time. Just a lot of stuff fighting over it, and nothing got there.
Yeah, not a bad throw.
So he thought it was
the body actions. Just love it.
Yeah, and you can see he kind of looked down at that ball return again, going, "You're in my way. Get out of my way." But
we call it willing and over, Phil.
So moves well to the right on the approach, kind of drifts to the left there.
Yeah, trying to hook at it,
and not even close.
It quit. Well, that one rolled out.
I think if we get a replay here, you'll see he really got a hold of that ball return with his trail leg that time. And it really, here it is. Yeah, really kind of caught the corner of it. He wasn't expecting it. And he's shaking his head already. It ain't coming back. And he looks down, and you're not my friend.
No.
To that ball return.
No, and the other thing is, he's be standing there, and I'm bigger than you, and I'm going to kick that ball return in the next week.
I don't know. That's Brunswick ball returns from about 1951. I think that thing is.
They've been taking a beating for 60 years.
Exactly. And he comes up high on that, and I think that was just a little frustration that he just looked real quick all the way through the shot.
Yeah, that spare's got into his head now. He's got to regroup real quick here.
Yeah, he's far from out of it. It's not like his opponent's out there throwing 7-baggers at him.
Yeah, another survival of the fittest. But the biggest thing is, though, is you got to take an extra second on the approach with your spares and just get your mindset on and image the shot that you're going to throw before you just get up there and rifle it.
Yeah, I mean, this one he took a little more time.
Yep.
Nice and
great
easy
post. Yep. Yep. And a great result, Phil. And just he rushed that 7-pin real quick. And again, he can get away with that hook shot maybe at his host house, but you just can't on wood. There's just in a house that you're not familiar with.
Yeah,
at all.
Especially here with a little old school, and we want to thank Stability Strikes as well, hopping on board for another one of our tournaments. Thanks to our friends at Time Warner Cable SportsChannel for keeping us on the air again. Wow. And a huge break. Hey, the 5-pin fell to the left. That's hard to do on a crossover strike play.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. And it looks to me like he got into the track early. The ball really slowed down quick. Obviously, friction took over. And he's into that thinking pose again, Phil.
And now it's just a matter of, in the first match, he was able to take advantage of when he crossed over on that same lane. Yeah. Went over lane 1, threw a double. And if he does that here, he puts Aaron down by 22 pins.
Yep.
A little more room to the right on that shot. Can't throw it better than that.
No, ball held pocket. Looked a little deeper in the heads. Maybe moved in a little bit more. Got a little bit more oil in the heads. The ball held pocket. Big double fill. That crossover is huge now.
Yeah, and Aaron's got to just be thinking to himself, I got to go off the sheet. I got no choice. 211, I need it.
Correct.
So, and want to thank our friends at Pioneer Bowl and Sports in Richfield. That's where Blake qualified through the sectional that was held for District 7 there. I want to thank Patty Krieger and the staff.
Yeah, what a big difference that house is, Phil, compared to this one here. Obviously, Pioneer being synthetic. Almost must-strike situation for Aaron.
Nice out of his hand. Oh. And we've seen ring 10s on lane 2. The 10 pins we've seen on lane 1 have been a little weaker. Just the difference in entry angles.
It's exactly it. Again, that ball just got to the break point and then just straightened out. And it's not rolling out. It's just kind of catching a little back-end oil, and he thought he had it all the way.
Yeah. And now you got to keep your focus because you still have 2-0 out there.
Correct.
If you make this spare.
Yep.
So he takes his time.
Hold it.
And the ball return.
Yep.
And he knows
he's
this
in trouble. Yeah, he's in trouble. Whew. Yeah. Bad breaks, but just the ball just did not want to read the last 5 feet for Aaron this whole game on lane 2, Phil.
Yeah. Yeah, Aaron wanted to make sure he got to thank Sheridan Lanes for all the help they've given him with his game. Jerry Schultz, his coach down there,
did a great job with him.
Hey, he even wanted to thank me for holding all the tournaments. So I'm going to take a little credit for that.
Absolutely, Phil. We appreciate everything you do for our youth and our sport.
Now, of course, the corner pins fall.
Yeah, a little bit more lighter in the pocket. Just, again, I see this condition is very hard to control the last, let's say, 10 feet. He's been throwing some very good shots, and just the ball wants to do something different every time in the last 10 feet.
So all really Blake has to do here is mark one of the 2 frames here in the 10th, and he'll be up in the 190s. Most that Aaron can go out for now is 190. So if he can make this 10-pin, it's pretty much game over. It'll make him 2013 Top Gun champion and a 12 seed, the lowest seed we take into the tournament.
Isn't that something?
From District 7.
That's got to be a big win.
And he was actually 3rd alternate out of that district. There were a couple of bowlers from Sheboygan that turned their bids down for other things, and it let Blake in, and he's going to end up winning this tournament. How about that? As Carl Spackler would say on Caddyshack, a Cinderella story here at Shorewood High School.
Oh, well, here we go.
Yeah, so, and it is, and it's good. And it just shows
Caddyshack.
Yeah, and it just shows you with the format of this Top Gun, especially with these finals with the eliminator.
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen, especially with how we format the qualifiers at each center.
Yep.
It's 2-game total pin brackets, and every time you have to bowl, if you're a low seed, you're bowling a bowler that's a higher seed ahead of you. He's going to let himself smile. No, not yet.
Not yet. He's still thinking.
Yeah, I thought he was going to let himself smile there for a minute. So.
And when it comes to Aaron, you have nothing to feel bad about. You got a great physical game. You know, I mean, that's why I don't bet in Vegas. I would have lost money on this match. But you know, Blake stood up and, you know, threw some really good clutch strikes. That crossover helped him tremendously, Phil, in the 8th and 7th frame. And so, obviously, he gets the win.
Yep. So, we're just going to let both bowlers finish this out here. Well, Blake wanted to thank his mom, Missy, his dad, Troy, his brothers, Brady and Baker down here cheering him on as well. And you can see Brittney Burgess getting ready. I see Stephanie Schwartz back there from District 3A. She's getting ready to get on the lanes for her match. So we'll have the girls coming up for you next after this, and can't quite get the 5 out.
Definitely moved in deeper on that lane, which I still think was the shot, but it just must be just a tremendous amount of carry down on lane 2.
Well, trying to make that split there, not a huge deal for Blake. 202 is his final score.
Yeah.
I know Aaron's not going to be happy out there with what he's got. So we're going to let him pick up this 5-pin. Nobody misses a 5-pin, especially on TV. He's got that picked up. We're going to save a little time again. We're going to let the girls get out there and practice. Dwight Albrecht and I will be back from the lanes at Shorewood High School in just a moment for the girls' semifinals and championship matches, so make sure you stay tuned after this short break. The Milwaukee area's bowling party specialist, whether for a small group or a large fundraiser. Daily food and beverage specials, whether you're on the lanes or inside the spacious alehouse. Whether for a casual meeting, business luncheon, or wedding reception, our banquet and meeting facilities can fit your needs. New Berlin Ale House, West Cleveland Avenue, New Berlin. Well, Dwight, Top Gun for the boys in the books. Blake Schmidt out of Final Act wins that boys division. We got the girls coming up, and let's show everybody how our 3 girls finalists made their way here to Shorewood High School. The girls' District 7 qualifier was held at Pioneer Bowl in Richfield. Kira Kuhl was looking to become the 2nd consecutive Kewaskum girls bowler to make the Top Gun finals. She fell a little short in her match against Brittney Burgess of Fond du Lac in the 2-game total pin finals, 458 to 396. The District 3A Spare Time Top Gun qualifier had a repeat of last year's girls' finals. Amanda Van Dyne of Kenosha Bradford struggled a little bit early, while Stephanie Schwartz of Racine Park started with a big 246 game and advanced in the 2-game total pin match, 459 to 397. The District 1 qualifier at New Berlin Bowl came down to the 10th frame of the 2nd game. This strike by Brittney Smith of West Dallas Central forced Alyssa Athas of Waukesha West to mark in the 10th frame, which Alyssa did to take home a victory. Bit by a bug again this year at Shorewood High School. A little electrical problem now at lane 2. It also knocked out one of our cameras, so we'll be a little short for this girls' semifinal match. Looks like we're bowling on just lane 1 again, like we did for the boys' finals last year.
Right.
Seeing the girls practice on lane 1, who do you think's going to have that advantage now that they're only on that left lane?
Well, I think it's going to be a little closer, Phil, this year with the girls, but my initial nod would be towards Stephanie Schwartz from Racine, Kenosha area. Again, she has the most power game, and the only thing is the lawn ball return is going to get in the way with her, but I'm going to initially think that she would be the one to watch.
Well, once again, the semifinal match, eliminator style. Top 2 girls go to the championship. Low girl goes home, and we'll be back with that girls semifinal for the Spare Time Top Gun from the lanes at Shorewood High School in just a moment, so make sure you stay tuned. Join Steve Sparky Pfeiffer, Van the Man McNeil, Dwight 5-time Albrecht, and other guests as they talk about the PBA Tour and local bowling on the Spare Time Bowling Show, Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. on Sports Radio 1250 WSSP. Barbier's Italian Inn, featured in onmilwaukee.com's In Search of the Perfect Pizza in January 2013. Near Miller Park on Blue Mountain Road and on Milwaukee Avenue in South Milwaukee. Well, technical problems aside, we're going to get this Spare Time Top Gun Girls semifinal eliminator match underway. Since lane 2, unfortunately, is out of commission with a little bit of an electrical problem, knocked out one of our cameras too, like we said. The girls are going to bowl on one lane, and it's going to be that way all the way through the semifinal and final match, Dwight. Nothing we can do about it at this point.
Deja vu, Phil, 2 years in a row.
So we'll shake that monkey next year. I know they're going to take a look at it. And they run such a nice place here at Shorewood High School. Not the start Stephanie's looking for there. We usually see her get the quick starts on the Youth Challenge Series telecast, but right now a big gaping split to start, Dwight.
Very powerful game for a young lady, David Schwartz's sister, Phil, using a storm fringe. Trying to play that inside line, which I thought during the boys, Phil, would be the line of choice, but goes right through the heart for a 4-6-7.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll see Stephanie make an adjustment out of it. We've seen her. She's the only one with TV experience on the show today, so she's got that little bit of an edge over Brittney Burgess here, and then Alyssa Athas you'll see in the third spot for this game. So Brittney here, pretty good lineage out of her parents, one of her parents at least, sure. Brian. Mm-hmm. Great bowler in the Fond du Lac area for years, and she's looking to follow in his footsteps.
Wow.
Same leave.
Same leave. Well, she obviously learned from Stephanie on that first shot on how to maybe not make it or make it. Very nice style of her game. Standard 4-step, very good timing, very smooth to the line, Phil. More of that classic roller. Nice game.
Yeah, and you're going to see Brittney and Alyssa play pretty similar lines. You're going to see Stephanie a little bit farther to the left to start with and getting it out a little farther to the right. So Stephanie a little
heck
more
of a try there.
Crank her power. And, well, one pin loss. Nothing early, but you won't want to have that come back to bite you at the end of the game. Always want to make sure you get those counts. And Dwight, you got to see Alyssa here at New Berlin Bowl when we had the Top Gun qualifier there for District 1. Initial thoughts when you saw her, and she beat a pretty strong lefty in Brittney Smith.
Absolutely. Boy, Brittney Smith I thought for sure was going to make the show the way that she was going through the field. Alyssa kept the ball in play, made good quality shots, stayed clean, and that's what it took to make the show. And obviously because she plays a very direct line, Phil, a little bit of a spinner, has to rely on the track to get the ball to hook up to the pocket, but keeps it in play and stays out of trouble.
Yeah. Little bad break there on the 7, but you mentioned that spinner release, and as dry as the lanes are starting to get a little bit, plus the wood surface, could that give Alyssa a little advantage over the other two bowlers?
I would think absolutely. I think the lane will come to her, Phil.
No problem covering that up, and you're going to see great spare games at all three of these ladies. No doubt about it. That's how they made their way through their sectional competitions. One frame in the books. And, of course, these ladies are making these High Five Gear Top Gun jerseys look even better than the boys did. And we want to thank Todd Molbeck and all of his staff at High Five Gear again for all the great support they give us for all of our telecasts.
As quick as the boys bowled, Phil, in the mini eliminator, obviously with only one lane going, the girls are obviously going to slow the pace down.
Yeah, with having only one bowler up on the approach at a time, it's just going to take a little bit longer. We may have to fast forward a couple of frames partway through the match. We'll see when we get to the commercial break what we're going to have to do. But we got a couple of frames to decide on that yet.
Nice little messenger there to take out the 10-pin by Stephanie. Looked like she maybe moved in a little bit on that shot.
Just can't quite get that 4 out. Still crept a little high. And a tough choice after watching the boys. Now, she just had a teammate, obviously, with Blake Schmidt come off these lanes. Blake, not quite similar game to Brittney, but could give a little bit of advice at least where he found hook and friction.
I think the girls are obviously watching too, obviously, because the boys went first. The girls get a chance to watch, and you could see where the boys were trying to play. So they're obviously going to come in already with a pretty good idea on where they're going to be lining up and what they're going to be playing for a line fill.
Brittney came out of our District 7 qualifier up at Pioneer Bowl in Richfield. I want to thank Patty Krieger and the staff up there again for their support of this Spare Time Top Gun event. Fun qualifier we had there, and the softball fields, I bet you they're going to be in good shape for them this year outside the bowling center. Lots to do there at Pioneer Bowl.
Absolutely, Phil. Alyssa is using a Manic. She likes to give Chuck Eberhardt some props for his drilling on his equipment. And she's got a high game at 279, high series at 645. Started bowling at age 3, Phil. Very young.
Yeah, all these young ladies. Stephanie's the latecomer of the group at 5 years old. Brittney started at 3, so kind of the opposite of what we saw with some of the boys. I mean, we had Aaron Turner, who didn't start until he was 14. He's only been bowling for 4 years now.
Yeah, look at his game.
Another good spare there. Alyssa Athas, the only one clean through 2 frames, and once again, you'll be able to tell what bowler's in danger of elimination from this match. We'll highlight their name in red during the frames.
Alyssa's got a little bit of a timing thing going on with her game, Phil. She's a little bit out of time, and she's trying real hard to make it up timing-wise at the foul line when she lets the ball go. Where obviously Stephanie is obviously a lot more in time, a lot more leveraged, and because of that hooks the ball quite a bit. As you can see there, hit the track and it took off. I don't know if I would use a fringe for this type of condition, Phil, just because that ball is very sensitive to change of direction when it hits the dry, and then could produce that, what we call that over-under reaction, and clearly there was the overreaction.
Yeah, that one just sliced right through, and not an easy spare with that 9-pin behind. She did what she needed to do, make sure she got the 9-pin out with the ball, but no deflection to get over to the 10. And
yeah, it's odd that it wouldn't do that.
2 opens in 3 frames for Stephanie Schwartz, and that puts her into 3rd place. Once again, you don't have to finish first in this match, but you can't finish last.
Guarantee you that not the start that she wanted.
All kinds of spring leagues coming up at New Berlin Bowl. If you're going to get in that Wednesday league there, it's a very popular doubles league. Make sure you call early. They filled up last year, and no doubt they'll fill up again this year. And another 4-6-7 for Brittney.
Wow. Right through the heart, Phil. Jumped on the very last end. And again, girls kind of seem, even though they're going much straighter than the boys, they're having a lot of the same problems the boys had, especially trying to figure out the break point. And again, we talked about it during the boys match, that wiggle effect, which you get a lot with wood lanes. The other thing too, Phil, is we didn't bring it up during the boys match, but we talked about it last year. You can see in this picture right there, the dark boards.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them out there. Kind of like, I used to aim off them back in the day.
Correct. So. Very rare, though, to see a wood lane house to have that much dark wood in the boards.
So, well, these lanes, 1951, so they're pretty old school here. They've been around over 60 years. Hey, how about that? Alyssa finally kicked that 7 out.
Again, kind of keep it into play. The Matic is a much weaker ball for Storm. It's a solid reactive, and obviously looks a little shinier and ain't going to over jump when it hits that dry. And her being a little bit of a spinner, not a high rev rep player, she's going to keep it in play and go straight.
Well, let's see.
Better choice all the way around.
Yeah, Stephanie's gone high 2 out of 3 frames. So is Brittney. Let's see if the young ladies make moves this frame. And that one once again.
Wow.
You mentioned change of direction. It got out a little farther to the right, found a little bit of dry, and it doesn't take much here. We saw in the boys matches, the track's a little more developed inside of second arrow as compared to where they might be used to. And that just builds off it there. All of a sudden you miss a little right. The track really grabs onto it and really throws it through the nose.
Yeah, is that the second or third 4-6-7 that she's left, Phil?
That would be the third.
Third 4-6-7 that she's left.
Brittney's got 2 herself, so.
Yeah, so we've been seeing that leave a lot in that lane, and obviously it's got to be frustrating. She's got a beautiful game, Phil. I mean, perfect axis rotation on the ball, very leveraged at the line, very powerful game.
And all these young ladies are either sophomores or juniors in high school, so they still have plenty of time to work on their game. So, hey, college coaches, get a hold of these 3 young ladies, get a hold of their parents and take a look at them. Start molding them. And now for something completely different, Dwight, we have a washout.
Yeah, for the first time, Phil, we have the washout. You could see clearly she pulled it a little bit in the oil. That ball hit the oil line, and boy, did that ball hydroplane. No grab whatsoever. So again, we clearly are seeing, Phil, that under overreaction. So the girls are going to have to figure it out quick here. Otherwise, same as the boys, this could be a pretty low-scoring match. A lot of opens.
Yeah, and right now, Alyssa's got to be feeling pretty good sitting on the bench going, hey, I've got 3 marks and 3 frames.
Yep.
I'm in the driver's seat. So,
yeah, correct. I mean, you hate to say it, but an early double here, she's probably in the finals real easily already by the 4th frame with the amount of opens the other 2 girls have. I mean, they 45 in the 4th, 42 in the 4th for the other 2. And there's that double, Phil.
Yeah.
I mean, driver's seat.
Yeah, she kind of, as you said before, a little bit of a spinner release. She missed a little bit to the left there. You can see she's kind of shaking her head, talking to her parents and her coach on the side, and she knows she got away with one, and she's probably going to make sure she projects a little farther to the right on the next shot.
And that's what I saw when she was bowling here at New Berlin. She was just trying to keep it in play and trying to fill frames, and again, a lot of those 190s and 220s fills is what gets you to the finals.
Well, let's see what Stephanie can do there. Looks like she changed her roll pattern a little bit in that shot. There was a little more end over end than spinny for her.
And also moved in quite a bit, Phil.
So a lot of times if you just get the ball to come off your fingers a little straighter, a little more direct towards the pin deck with your follow through, get a little more end over end roll and delay that back end reaction and take a little bit off. And I think Steph could maybe find some success with that.
Yeah, we call that obviously tilt at the release. Big crossover strike there for Brittney. Maybe that can get her going.
Yeah, a little tilt on that 6-pin there to get it out. 3-pin off the wall on the crossover.
Again, except for maybe Alyssa, the girls are really not comfortable on this condition so far, but we're only halfway through the match.
And it's just a matter of finishing in 2nd place, so you know Stephanie and Brittney are both going to be fighting all the way through this match.
Yep, Sparky's sitting on the sidelines loving this mini eliminator 4-bat.
No doubt about that. Let's see. And, oh, I thought we were going to get a three-bagger there, but once it gets a little high here, it's going to keep going on that wood surface through the pin deck.
She doesn't have the powerful game, Phil, but boy, she's consistent and very accurate.
Yeah, watch that ball. No deflection. 2-pin comes off the wall to take the 4 out, but not enough oomph to get it over to the 9-pin. So, once again, if you get out of this match, you're guaranteed at least one 900 global bowling ball for making that championship match. If you win that championship match, you get a second 900 global bowling ball, plus some custom stuff from High Five here as well. So, we appreciate the support from both of them. With that, we're going to get to the commercial break for this match. They're going to bowl through the commercial break. We'll be back with a catch-up on that action in just a moment. Make sure you stay tuned. As I mentioned before the commercial break, we're down in one lane here at Shorewood High School, so we had the bowlers continue to bowl through. We're going to get you caught up with all that action from the 6th through 8th frames. Stephanie Schwartz trying to look for her first double of the match, and Dwight goes a little bit wide, and we see a washout for her.
Yeah, get in the massive wiggle, Phil. She just cannot get the ball to read.
So, looks to get that ball across the head pin to make all 4 pins down. Doesn't quite do it, leaves the 10. Gets her a little farther behind and puts her back into 3rd place. Brittney Burgess up looking for her first double of the match, and she gets the wall shot.
Got the Jonah Tully 457 out of there.
And Alyssa Athas maintaining a nice lead here, just looking to stay clean. Throws another good ball, keeping it in play.
Look at
in
that.
The pit.
She's got the look, Phil.
Yep. Looks like she's going to stamp her ticket in a championship match. Stephanie Schwartz looking to get past Brittney Burgess again, and just tickles the 7 out.
Finally got some good ball motion, good ball reaction, but maybe a little too late, Phil.
Well, and Brittney here in her 7th frame looking for a turkey, which would be one of the rare ones we've had here today, and 10 back.
Beautiful shot. You can see clearly straight as great.
So, speaking of that, Alyssa just playing that nice, easy line up the lane. Little hook in, once again, little high. This time gets the 9 out, almost leaves a 4-9.
Yeah, but keep it in play, Phil.
Yep. I mean, all single pin spares she's had so far, other than the 3 strikes through 7 frames. Covers it up, maintains that nice large lead over 2nd place out there. Almost 30 pins. Stephanie Schwartz looking to get a double to get past Brittney. And once again, just can't quite get that light 7 out. We've seen that all day here on lane 1. And then a big mental mistake on the spare Dwight. Just gets it right, leaks it, and never gets back over.
Yeah, bad break on the first ball. She threw it great.
Brittney looking for 4 in a row here. The Rob Stone Memorial hand bone, and it's there! How about that?
The only problem is, do the kids really know what the hand bone means, Phil?
I think they may still remember it. And then Alyssa looking to maintain a lead over Brittney right now. Leaves herself 10 pin, but makes a mental error. Gets that ball way to the right out of her hand. It's in the gutter about 45 feet down.
She knew it.
But she's still in the lead, and it's pretty much a no-doubter right now, Dwight, with as many pins as Stephanie Schwartz is behind. It's just a matter of who's going to be top seed and going to go first or last in the championship match between Brittney and Alyssa.
Yes, Brittney really's turned it on the second half of this game, Phil, that's for sure.
Yeah, late 4-bagger. And we thought she was almost out of it before.
Yes.
We thought Alyssa could cruise into the last match. Yeah, because of Stephanie's errant shot, she's going to be able to do so. And, of course, as soon as we say errant shot, Stephanie once again. Does she have a spare on the board yet, Dwight? No, she doesn't.
Nope, not to this point, Phil. It's all been strikes or opens.
4 strikes and 5 open for Stephanie. That's a rare game for her.
Most powerful player game out of the 3 of them, and unfortunately in this condition, the lowest score. So obviously you can see at home, folks, you don't have to hook it to score. I mean, sometimes going straight is great.
Get the accuracy back into play a little bit. Brittney looking for a handful with 5 in a row, and
wow.
How about, I think that's the first blower strike we've seen out of the girls so far. We saw a couple out of Aaron Turner earlier, but she just shoved that 2, 4, 5, 7 around.
Yeah, going very, very straight, Phil. As you can see, that ball is not covering a lot of boards at all. Maybe a board or 2 a hook.
So we've got our finalists in the books now here, Dwight. If you're Alyssa right now, the only thing you really have going kind of is lane choice, going first or last. You know you're on lane 1. Do you make a little experiment these last 2 shots here just to see maybe find something? Because you got a hot hand in Brittney.
Well, here's the thing is Alyssa's not missed the pocket the whole game, Phil. She's been in the pocket all 9 frames. All she's left has been 9 counts and strikes.
So
I wouldn't change, no.
Okay.
If you're hitting the pocket and you're in the finals, well, then we'll have to see what Brittney does against her.
Yeah, maybe I'd maybe do an area check the second ball, the 10th frame, or something like that, just to see maybe if I did have to make a move, something could happen. And how about that? Another strike for Stephanie.
Well, I'll tell you, when she does hit the pocket, are they off the deck fast, Phil?
Yeah.
What a lot of power. I
mean, probably the hottest young female bowler out there this last year with a lot of the tournament titles she's won, some second place finishes, some third, a lot of podiums, I guess you could say.
She'll be disappointed with this final, but she obviously, it's always a learning experience, Phil.
Yeah, and she's only a sophomore. She's got 2 more years at Racine Park to come out, and she really helped make a late season charge for Racine Park to get them into the high school state tournament. Courtney Johnson was another one. She's a senior as well down there for Racine Park. And not only did Courtney come out and help get the team in the state tournament, she won the District 3 singles tournament, got her own bid for singles to state. So good year for Racine Park on the boys and girls side.
Just too many opens for her this game. 5 opens, unfortunately, for Stephanie.
Yeah, something tells me we could see all 3 of these young ladies on that high school state telecast coming out of Waukesha this year. And new network for them this year, so keep your eyes open on your local listings. We can't give away all the surprises yet, but you'll see some interesting high school bowling later on in March or early April, depending on when they get scheduled. So
doesn't get the trip 4 into the 9. All the girls just have beautiful physical games. If you look at it just from basically the shoulders up, they all have the very steady head. All of them have very good timing. All of them have great finish post positions. These girls have been worked real hard by their high school coaches, Phil.
Yeah, or
family.
Yeah, as you say, especially Brittney. I mean, she's got Norb Wetzel, a pro shop driller. Dad's a great bowler herself with Brian. Want to thank her mom, Wendy, too, brother Josh. So a whole family affair for the Burgesses.
Yes, very, very strong bowling genes in the family.
Well, let's see what Brittney can do here. She can, well, basically, even counts kind of irrelevant here as long as she gets more than 5. I mean, it's going to force Alyssa to get a strike first ball, the 10th to pass her for top seed in the championship match. And that bowler will have choice of going first or last in the match. What do you think, Dwight? What would you rather be in that position, first or last, personally yourself?
I always like to be the one that controls my own destiny, Phil, so I'd rather go last, of course. I'd rather try to control it myself if I had to shoot the double in the 10th rather than sitting on the bench and winning.
I was always a chicken. I'd always go first. Always, never a doubt. I always wanted to leave it on my opponent. So, well, first ball, we've seen a little errant out of Alyssa, but not much. Just a little high for a 4-7.
Like I said, she fills frames, Phil.
We'll see what Brittney does as top seed getting into that next match. We're going to take a little break on this match since Alyssa will definitely be the number 2 seed regardless of what happens. Dwight Albrecht and I will be back from Shorewood High School for that championship match for the Spare Time Top Gun 2013 edition in just a couple of moments. Make sure you stay tuned. Here's the spring fun lineup for Pioneer Bowl in Richfield. All spring softball leagues start the week of April 28th. Co-ed sand volleyball and women's sand volleyball also start that same week. Friday night co-ed kickball starts May 3rd, and Tuesday night spring bowling league for all averages starts April 23rd. No matter what your age, there's always something fun to do in Richfield at Pioneer Bowl Sports Center. Three matches in the book so far. The boys championship done. Blake Schmidt from Fond du Lac High School won that one. And Fond du Lac High School looking to make a sweep here, Dwight, with Brittney Burgess up on lane 1 here at Shorewood High School.
I think they got a good chance, Phil. Again, both of the girls here, they both go very, very straight. I think you're going to see a lot of balls in the pocket, Phil.
10 in the pit, and during the commercial break, they had to sit and wait. We didn't let them get any additional practice, so let the nerves build a little bit. And probably the first time, I bet, looking at Alyssa's bio here. I mean, she's got a couple of first place in state tournament, but you bowl your 3 games, and that's a 3-month-long tournament, and you get your results later on. So she had a second place last year in the District 1 Scholarship Tournament, so she's come close to grabbing the brass ring, but she's looking to do it now, get that first big tournament title under the belt, and a good shot to start with.
Yeah, it's just real interesting, Phil, because obviously you can see Brittney really stays behind the ball. I mean, if she's probably got 10 degrees of tilt, that's about it. Very heavy forward roll, where Alyssa obviously is that little bit of a spinner type of release, but both the girls keep the ball in play. They both go very direct with the boards and avoid trouble because of that.
Well, let's bring out your inner geek here for a second, Dwight. We always like to bring out the bowling geek on the Spare Time radio show. Brittney is wearing a very strong wrist device. Alyssa missed this 10 pin there,
Yep.
So that's going to put her in an early hole. Alyssa does not wear a wrist device at all.
Yes.
For women bowlers, what do you think? Is it just a personal preference? Do you sometimes steer bowlers into a wrist device if you see them with a weaker release?
It is such a tough question, Phil, but here's the thing. You look at even the ladies tour, and you see a lot of the women on the women's pro tour wearing a lot of the same gloves that Brittney's wearing. Brittney's wearing the Robbie Revs. I have to wear the Brunswick Power Coil glove, which is what my daughter and my partner Beth wears. I have to wear because I had wrist surgery, Phil, so the doctors told me I would never bowl again. So I ended up getting my daughter Ashley into the Power Coil glove, which is very similar to the Robbie Revs glove, to help keep her wrist in a stronger position, because the girls simply don't have the strength in the forearm and the wrist area like the boys do. So we try to, in coaching, Phil, we try to teach them to do it al natural, but if they do need a little bit of a help, the gloves and the wrist supports are there, especially the ones like Robbie Revs.
Yeah, and we can see it's personal preference for these two ladies. Both of them hit the pocket twice. Brittney just got that little extra tap where Alyssa left that 10 pin in the first frame. But Alyssa, a little sweeper out on the 4 pin there to keep herself within 21 pins going on the frame number 3.
The only thing that obviously when you have a glove that firm that's on your wrist, Phil, obviously with a lot of the guys that are on the tour, let's say like a Sean Rash. You watch Sean Rash in person, you'll see he's very heavily cupped with his wrist in the backswing, but when he gets to the bottom of the swing, he actually breaks his wrist back.
And you'll see that with Chris Barnes, a lot of the pros on tour, Wes Malott. They call it now like the pro release. It almost looks like the wrist is in a backup position, but how their fingers are positioned is what gets them the strength through the ball.
And you're simply not going to be able to get your wrist in the position with that glove on. It cannot be done.
No problem getting that 10 pin covered for Brittney. Leaves herself with a 20 pin lead. Winter's not done yet, ladies and gentlemen. Summer's around the corner. You know it's going to be another warm one. So whether it's your furnace or your air conditioning unit, get it tuned up now while the Action Heating and Cooling, it's kind of a slow time of year for them. I mean, everybody's not thinking about winter, summer. It gets those 50-degree days in there. Get the tune-ups before everybody's asking for them, and they can fit you in the schedule anytime. And once again, that's got to be your 3rd or 4th 7-pin that way, Dwight.
Well, I kind of called this match before it started, Phil. I said the girls were going to be in the pocket this game. Obviously, Stephanie was out of the pocket a lot the last game. These girls are just whacking the pocket now, Phil. I think they're just playing the lanes so much better than the boys did. And I think, to be honest with you, I think because of their physical games and because they have a little bit less rotation on the ball, again, I think the lanes coming to them, and I think they're playing the lanes much better than the boys did.
Yeah, and I mean the attitudes, if you look at both of them on their bio sheets here, both of them stay clean, make good shots, make my spares. Yeah. I mean, just basically mirror imaging themselves about their lane strategy, and that's what's really coming to play and keeping them real close in this match.
Right, fill in frames.
So
fill in frames, staying out of trouble.
Ledgeview Lanes, current home center for Brittney. 36 lanes up in
state tournament this year will be held there.
Yeah, singles and doubles. So last time we were there, they were great hosts as well. We were up there for the 2007 Badger Queens when Jamie Cullen won that. That was the first women's tournament that we did. This year we had the Wisconsin Women's Open down here at New Berlin Bowl.
Yes. And yes, Roxanne George ended up winning it that day at New Berlin Bowl, Phil.
Yeah, and we're going to have a trios event in May. We'll get you more information on the upcoming telecast thanks to our friends here at Time Warner Cable SportsChannel. May 5th is the date for that. Women's trios, New Berlin Bowl. And look for flyers on that in your local bowling center shortly, and we'll get you some website information out there in the next month or so as well. Nobody misses a 5-pin on TV.
Again, keeping it in play, Phil. Both girls through 4 frames, hitting the pocket flush, just like what I thought. This is going to be the one that catches the double in the appropriate time. Is probably going to be the one that could win it, and this might be going right down to the 10th frame.
So how about now? Alyssa got that one a little farther right than she's been playing the last couple of shots.
See how it caught the track?
Yeah, and it really came up nice and firm into the pocket, and that was just splitting all 10 pins back. I think when you put the bowling textbook together, Dwight, that's how you see the strike on the cover.
Yeah, you can't get any better than that. That hits the 4 primary pins on that one, Phil.
So once again, you saw the 2 ads there for 900 Global's 2 latest bowling balls. the War Eagle and the Bullet Train. Winner of this match gets 2 bowling balls from Niner Global, and I think she needed an extra bowling ball there to kick that 10 pin out.
That's amazing that she left a 10 on that shot, Phil. That was such a great throwing shot. Yeah. Look at this.
Yeah.
Just that 6 whistled at the base of that 10 pin.
Yeah, just that
how you can leave that.
Hair of deflection for her on that. And it looks like she was using a Brunswick aura on that ball. And I've still tell you what, I've seen a couple of players throw that on tour, and not much deflection usually on that ball. Of course, when you got a hand like Sean Rash, it tends to be a little bit different.
Yes. When you got rev rates over 500, pretty much it don't matter what you're going to throw. There's very little deflection.
They could grab a Brunswick Mineralite or a 900 Global spare ball and still make it get all 10 pins down there. Well, let's see what Alyssa can do here, getting into the commercial break. And of course she strikes before I can really get talking about her. So a little behind on time. We got to get into this last commercial break. We'll be back with the last 5 frames of the 2013 Spare Time Top Gun Girls Championship match in just a moment. Make sure you stay tuned. Well, Dwight, we've got 5 frames in the books in the girls' championship match here for the Spare Time Top Gun. Neither girls missed the pocket yet. Only Aaron shot by Alyssa Athas in the first frame. That has her down by 9 pins. You ready to predict anything in this match yet?
Too close to call, Phil. Again, who's going to, obviously Alyssa's got the double going into the commercial break. Maybe she'll have something going here.
That's way right there for Brittney,
Wow.
and that's a surprise there.
Yeah, you thought maybe it might hook up to the pocket. It got to about 55 feet and went dead straight.
So, and
First pocket, ball out of the pocket, Phil.
yeah, she's talking to Blake and she's talking to her dad there over in the corner, and just kind of like, did you guys see anything? And yeah, they're all kind of puzzled by that. So, out of her hand, I thought it was gonna be right in the pocket again.
Yeah, pretty close. It just didn't finish. Caught like a strip of oil down the lane. Again, Phil, did it maybe catch one of those dark boards and change the roll of the ball just that little bit?
Yeah, and here with the oiler, we talked about it during the boys' matches. It's an oiler that's about 30 years old. It puts down less oil than the modern oilers do, but you can still eventually get a little bit of carry down the lane.
Well, there's that open I was talking about, Phil, out of Brittney. Now, let's see, obviously, if Alyssa jumps all over it, already working on a double. I mean, she gets one here. She's in the driver's seat.
Yeah, she can go from 9 pins down to 17 pins up in just a flash. If she can carry that and not quite with the 4 pins still standing.
And this is what she did in qualifying, Phil, at New Berlin. I mean, every match, she just kept that ball right around the pocket. And almost made the other girl make the mistake. She just never got into trouble.
And both these bowlers are keeping their nerves down, going through the same pre-shot routine. Not a lot of emotion up there. It's just like you see it there with Alyssa. Just, okay, left the 4 pin, get yourself together, make the spare. So it's always a good thing to do. Have that pre-shot routine, keep the emotions in check, and don't let them control what you throw out there.
Elvis called it TCB, Phil. Taking care of business.
Yeah, and both these young ladies are pretty much doing it right now. Only 1 open for each in a tough championship match. And Brittney Burgess only down by 6 pins right now.
Again, way too early to call.
Let's see what she does if she makes a move off of that. It looks like she may have moved slightly to the right with her feet from that last shot. So maybe she's thinking there might be a little carry down there. Oh. And that's just dead left.
Yep, she pulled that off her hand, Phil. That was just a bad throw there.
So, well, the good news is we're only using lane 1 this match, so she doesn't have to deal with the ball return on lane 2, shooting at a right side spare.
I think both girls are very thankful for that, Phil.
So, but 610 still choppable out there.
I just wonder if that was an overcorrection shot from the frame before. She maybe got in her head that she doesn't have the swing area to the right that she thought she did, and barely makes the 610.
Not
the hard way.
Yeah, not the way you really want to shoot at it. A lot of ways that 6 can go around the 10 or just stay in that flat gutter.
Yeah, she's got to kind of regroup now a little bit. I think that 6th frame kind of took her for a little bit of a loop.
Well, she doesn't look too uptight on the bench. You see Alyssa on the approach taking an extra wipe of her hand on her pants leg there to make sure everything's dry so it doesn't slip off.
Yeah, not the thinker like Blake did the last the last match from Fond du Lac.
And another blower 7-pin for Alyssa. Can we get her another rev so she blows those out, Dwight? I think that's all she needs.
There's the glove, Phil. There we go. You just got to get the glove on her, get that extra rev to throw that 5 into the 7.
It just stops that couple of inches short. That's amazing. That's the 4th or 5th time now for her in less than 2 games.
I've never seen a young lady hit the pocket as many shots as she did leading up to this show and obviously during this show.
Ooh. Yay, hold on. Ooh, I think a little bit of nerves in play there, Dwight.
Yeah, got a little bit of the track and it took off where she could hold it a little bit. Thank God for a little oil down lane, Phil. If that thing would have snapped, that would have been in the left gutter.
Yeah, you see when she sat back down on the bench back there, she had that timid smile going like, yeah, I think I kind of got away with that one.
Absolutely.
Well, hopefully that maybe keeps her loose on her next shot. Brittney here, you see that steel focus she's got up on the approach. She gets up there, she's just focused on that target, hooking in nicely, 10 back.
Great shot. Just what she needed. Maybe she could get a little confidence from it now.
Oh, here we go. 5-pin difference.
Pins, right down to the end, Phil, just like I thought.
So if Alyssa can match Brittney all the way out, shot for shot, she'll take home that 2013 Spare Time Top Gun title with the 2 900 Global bowling balls, the plaque from Trophy Athletic, and the customized gear from High Five Gear.
Yeah, Alyssa's got what we call, Phil, 3-4 timing. Basically, when she takes her first step, if you watch real close, the ball never moves. So she's actually getting the ball to move in 3 steps instead of the 4 with the 4-step timing game.
Yeah, and that one right there, she had a little too much spin on it and lucky to get away with tapping that 10 out.
Yeah, that avoided a big open at a costly time.
So takes a little extra time in the approach, makes sure she gets herself lined up to go real straight at that 8-pin, right in the middle of it.
Yeah, this is getting a crunch time, Phil.
Well, here we go. Alyssa's maximum score right now is 216 if she strikes out in the 9th and 10th, but Brittney can pass her if she strikes out with 222.
Right.
So getting into the 9th and 10th frame, as we've seen a lot of these Time Warner Cable SportsChannel bowling telecasts, nobody really in the driver's seat. Someone's got to take control and get it to the finish line.
Who's going to catch that first break, Phil? That's what it's going to come down to.
Awesome shot out of her hand, and I can't believe the 10 stands on her again.
Yeah, well, you know, here's the problem, Phil, is when you have that straight roll, that interburn roll, that straight line, the only thing that you can run into trouble a little bit is that flat 10. The 6 just wiggled in the gutter, didn't come out. Maybe a couple lack of degrees of entry angle, and there's your weak 10.
Yeah, and she kind of, you see the reaction, she kind of knew it had a chance to leave it, and, you know, just turn around, as you said before, taking care of business and just getting that spare, because right now, if your opponent makes a mistake, you're back in the lead, so don't give them an extra opening.
That 9th frame, though, Phil, that's your foundation frame. I mean, that is the most important one to set up the 10th, obviously.
I want to thank the Onco family once again at Castle Lanes. Our District 3A qualifiers were held there. You saw Aaron Turner and Stephanie Schwartz both come out of that qualifier to get here to Shorewood High School.
Just amazing, Phil, how great the turnout was at all the locations for this tournament.
Absolutely. You can see crowd shots today, full house, and there's a full house of 10 back in the pit here on lane 1.
In the 9th frame, so now she sets herself up for the 10th. So you would have to think advantage Alyssa at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Basically right now, whatever Brittney does in the 10th frame, as long as Alyssa matches her, Alyssa's taking home the title.
Yeah, she knew it too, Phil. That was a big shot right there.
I want to thank our friends Jay Brewer and gang at Stability Strikes, the great SS300 socks. Got him on again today. Helps me keep the comfort in the booth, Dwight.
I know it gets pressure at times, Phil, so it's nice to have that extra comfort when you need it.
Yeah, and Brittney's trying to build herself a little extra comfort right now, starting with that first strike in the 10th, and if she can get that second one, it's going to force Alyssa to at least get one strike in the 10th frame to get by her.
Yep, she's got to get this one to put the pressure on Alyssa. Alyssa then would have to get the first one in the 10th.
So 202 if Brittney can strike out, and 196 if Alyssa were to just go strike spare.
Yep.
And count at the end could be a little bit of an issue depending on what Brittney does. And once again, that weak 10 pin comes out.
Flat 10. And now obviously she's going to need a lot of help out of Alyssa here.
Well, basically, Alyssa has to mark. Any mark and good count will get Alyssa the title.
Yep.
This pin does kind of matter a little bit. It could force Alyssa's count to change.
Correct.
If she were to leave a wide split or something.
Beautiful game, though, Phil.
192 double and just the one errant shot in the 6th frame. I mean,
yeah, one bad frame.
192 was beaten pretty much every match today. You're coming out of there with a win.
I think it beat most of the boys, too.
Well, Alyssa Athas taking, you can see, rubbing that hand. I'm sure the nerves are going right now. Going for that first big title for herself for the Spare Time Top Gun.
Any spare's a winner.
Looks spectacular out of her hand. How about that, Dwight?
Don't need a spare there, Phil. That's 10 back, and she's our champion.
She threw that one like she's been there before. I mean, that was just, exactly, you called it. Absolutely clutch. So watch that replay. Four pin back off the wall on the 7.
Just, I mean, watch your game and there's not a high rev rate. There's not, blurring ball speed. And she just puts them in the pocket, in the pocket, in the pocket. And that's just repeatability, Phil.
Accuracy still plays a lot in this bowling game. No doubt about that.
I mean, look at number 1 and number 2 in PBA of all time. Earl Anthony and Walter A. Williams. Did either one of them hook it a lot? No, they both went very straight.
Well, if they wanted to, they could, but why when they didn't have to make all that money? And once again, another nice toss there by Alyssa.
Trips the 4.
216 if she gets the last one in the 10th. Taking home those 2 900 global bowling balls.
And now 2 years in a row, Phil, the girls that won came from District 1.
Yep. Last year, the boy, Adam Todd, came from District 1. This year, District 7 gets their first victory with Blake Schmidt. So I'm sure Sparky and you and Van will have both of these young bowlers on the Spare Time Show, our champions, in the weeks to come, sometime in March. How about that for a finish? 10 back, Dwight.
Wow, ends up with the 4-bagger at the end, Phil. Very impressive.
Absolutely. 216. The handshakes are out. The high fives are there. The hugs from the coach and the family and everybody else. Dwight, let's get a little something to drink here out in the lobby, and we'll get this wrapped up in just a moment from Shorewood High School. Make sure you stay tuned for that wrap-up. Join Steve Sparky Pfeiffer, Van the Man McNeil, Dwight 5-time Albrecht, and other guests as they talk about the PBA Tour and local bowling on the Spare Time Bowling Show, Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. on Sports Radio 1250 WSSP. Well, Dwight, we thought we had drama in the boys' championship match. The girls' championship match, down to that first ball in the 10th frame, Alyssa Athas had to step up, get a mark to lock up the championship. She did better than that. She got that big double, strolled the rest of the way through the 10th frame, wins that girls' championship for the Spare Time Top Gun this year. Yeah, both my predictions were pretty bad, Phil. Obviously, I went with the Revolutions in the turn, and the straighter the greater, at least on today's shot. Absolutely, and that's why we have the kids throw the balls out there. You never know what's going to happen. Two good champions out there, though. I think we're going to see a lot more out of both those young bowlers, both 16 years of age. So, long way to go for them to develop and get better. And, of course, more tournament action coming up here thanks to our friends at Time Warner Cable SportsChannel. The Sunset Over 40 tournaments. We just had the high school kids on. Now we're getting the old kids on. Over 40, over 50, over 60 divisions. Going to be rolling off for that championship. And too bad we can't get you to show up out there. I know you're on the Spare Time Show that day. Yeah, and I'm on the Spare Time Show that day, and I'm going to have shoulder surgery, unfortunately. But next year I will definitely be in the plus 50 category, Phil. So we'll bring in that action from Sunset Bowl in Waukesha for that over 40 event on our next show, thanks to our friends at Time Warner Cable SportsChannel. So for my friend Dwight Albrecht, for of course the Spare Time Gang with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer, Van McNeil, I'm Phil Brylow, and parents take your kids bowling, they'll have fun for life. We'll see you on the next show from Sunset Bowl in Waukesha.